All right, guys. So our last topic is going to be a review of the first 3 episodes of the DC show Titans. They dropped the first 3 episodes, but first, old Rick Metz here is going to sign off because he hasn't seen Titans yet.
Maybe I'll go home and watch it.
Yeah, but why? Maybe watch the review first, and then maybe
Yeah.
see where you want to go from there.
I saw all the trailers and stuff, and I was just kind of like,
Yeah, we'll get into it here. But
Okay.
Rick, let everybody know where they can find you online.
Follow me at Sir Rick Metz. Follow me on Instagram.
All right, there it is. It was good having you here, Rick, and we'll
Always a
see you
pleasure.
again next week.
All right.
All right, see you later, sir.
See you.
Take
All
care,
right.
man.
See ya.
All right, so with Titans, my main thing with it, like, I was telling you this, John. Titans is literally, and the spoiler alert here, because we will get into spoilers with this. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it first. Obviously, see you later, Rick. Titans is the only show that I like legitimately hate watch, and in that, like, there's things in there that are good. Like, it's got good scenes here and there, and I'm talking about all from the first 2 seasons as well. I'm talking the entire series right now. I felt like this throughout the entirety of the show. But it's just there's something where the show is like all like to summarize it, it's like all payoff with just no development. Like, it's like it's kind of like the all thriller no filler kind of thing, but in a bad way. Because it's like they want to do these like key storylines and do these cool things. Like, let's have Batman in it, but then like Batman's in it and he just does something. You don't know why. There's no build up to it. It's just like Batman's here and he does it and then he goes. And it's like something like jarring, like for instance with the Batman thing in this season, like Bruce Wayne is in like the first couple episodes or whatever, and he's just like unhinged Batman. Like, he literally goes and kills the Joker and then just leaves town. And you don't really know why. They don't really set it up in any way. It just kind of happens, And it's like, I don't know, like, John, what were your overall thoughts of this season before I start jumping around too much? Because like I've felt like that for the entire series, where it's like they introduce a cool thing and like that cool thing happens and it's cool, but then like the story is always so disjointed too. Like, it's weird. All the best parts of like season 2 were like the flashbacks with Aqualad, but then like Aqualad's dead, so it's like why do you have like the best bits happening with a dead character? I don't know. It's just weird. What are your overall thoughts on the show and like this season so far?
Yeah, when we were messaging about earlier, I think I said something like, I like about 10% of the show. The other 40% or 45% I tolerate, and then the other 45% I absolutely hate. They just I want to like the show. I should like the show. This show should be. They should. All I should have to do is turn on the TV, and I should love this show, because that's how much I love the Titans. I love Dick Grayson. I mean, I've got every volume of Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Teen Titans sitting next to me on my bookshelf right here. I've got the omnibus of all. I've got it in trades. I've got it in omnibus. I've got it digitally. I love the Teen Titans. I have all of Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run. I have Teen Titans from Dan Jurgens when it wasn't even any of the Teen Titans characters that are known in the DCU. They replaced them with all new characters back in the 90s. I got that entire run. Like, I'm just a huge, and so this show, I should be like the easiest person in the world to appease with this show. And yet, like I said, 45 to 50% of the show I absolutely hate. It's like the show that your hardcore friend like would make. Oh man, I'm gonna make a show. I'm gonna make it badass, man. This show is gonna be so fucking cool, man. It's gonna be great. And then like, oh, we're gonna have Dick Grayson say fuck you, fuck Batman, because that's edgy. Like, that's so cool. It's dark. It's cool. Like, whole Dick Grayson said fuck Batman. Like, oh wow, that's it's like that's not clever writing. That's dumb. It's simple writing. It's weak. It doesn't. I don't know. So yeah, and it's been like that from the start. Like you said, things just happen. Robin scrapes somebody's face across glass to show how edgy and dark he is. Like, there's no reason why he's edgy and dark. That they'll tell you he's edgy and dark, and he'll do that to show he's edgy and dark. But there's no build up to it. There's no rationale for it. It's just because the show is cool, man. It's cool because he's dark like that.
The character development is non-existent for all the characters.
No,
Like the
No.
only, and strangely enough, this is what I told you over in all 3 seasons, aside from the season 3 because it's only 3 episodes, but through all of seasons 1 and 2, the characters who got the most like actual character development in the show was Hawk and Dove. Like I think bar none, their characters, they dived more into their backstories, how they are as like individuals, etc., and they honestly probably should have because those two are the most well-known actors and they're the best actors on the show. So like it would
Yeah.
make sense to give them more screen time and do more things with them. But subsequently, it's Hawk and Dove who have no part of being in the Titans really for the most part. But like you give them all the stuff, but then you don't have, it's not their show. So it's like you do all this stuff for them, but ultimately it's Robin or Nightwing's show, and Nightwing is like the flattest character. You have no idea what his motivations are. In one season he hates Bruce Wayne, wants nothing to do with him. Then another season he like wants his help, and then like in this season he's like straight up working with him and wants him to come back after he leaves, and it's like hard to read, man. Like, what's happening here? Like literally in season 1, the arc they presented was like he wanted to beat Batman because he thought Batman was going crazy and like he was gonna
Yeah.
kill people, and it's like they just completely like not to mention like the first season where it's like it was gonna be the Trigon stuff, but then they changed it to be the Batman stuff, so it's like they completely destroyed Trigon. And then in the next season when they did the Deathstroke stuff, it's like the Deathstroke stuff was cool when it actually focused on the Deathstroke stuff, but they didn't give anything like Deathstroke looked cool, I guess is the best way to go about it. And the actor who played Deathstroke was good, but they didn't give him anything to do. He just kind of showed up and kind of did the edgy Nightwing stuff or like the edgy Robin season 1 stuff. He just shows up and does something and then he's gone. And like that was it.
Yeah.
That was the whole series. And then like I said, the best part about the whole season 2 wasn't the Deathstroke stuff. It was the stuff they did with Aqualad in the flashbacks, but they were flashbacks. So it's like, why are you telling more interesting stories about things that happened in the past with dead characters when you can't go anywhere with it? It's just like, what I don't know where the writing's coming from. But then ultimately, what just killed me about this season so far was that, like I mentioned, and this again, spoilers for anybody who's already not seen it and doesn't want to know anything, but they start this season off again. Hawk and Dove are like the best characters on the show, most character development in general, best actors, and then they go on and they kill one of them
Mhm.
for really like no reason. Like it didn't have to happen. It's like they did it
Just
because they wanted you to feel stakes, but they didn't really lead up to it very well. It's just like it
and
happens.
there's no motivation for why
Yeah,
I mean, Red Hood ends up killing one of them, and there's no motivation for why Red Hood kills him other than
he
he
just does it.
wants to rule Gotham, and he's trying to. I don't even like.
I don't
Yeah,
even know
he
what Red
just.
Hood's doing either. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah, it just. I'm not really sure what his motivation is for killing him. Like it's even played as a whole Joker gag. I mean, he does the Joker gag where he tells them it's going to be one thing, but he lies and makes it something else. Um, it's just a very uneven. And the thing is, Jeff Johns is involved with this show. Jeff Johns has written, like I said, I mentioned, he wrote the Titans. He wrote an entire run on the Titans, with you know Robin and Starfire, or Tim Drake Robin and Starfire and Superboy, and like I love that run. It's a phenomenal run on the Titans, and it's so good. And he's written so many other classic DC stories that have real heart and emotion to them, and things that I really like. And then Greg Berlanti has the whole Berlanti universe over on the CW show, which a lot of people don't like the shows, and I understand it. I understand that they can be kind of hokey and that they don't, they're not everybody's cup of tea. But I love those shows, and it's because they're very character driven shows for the most part, because they don't have the production budgets to do constant action scenes and huge fights and stuff. They that kind of thing happens sparingly in those shows. But yet somehow the two of them got together, and you're left with this, like, energy drink, shot taking, cigarette smoking show. Like, I don't understand how those two came up with this particular show. I will say, season 2, I thought, was better than season 1. Season 1 was a mess. Season 1 was just from top to bottom an absolute dumpster fire. And clearly, like you said, they were going to do Trigon, and then for some reason they didn't. And this was back when they were trying to make it for the DC Universe app. And I don't know if somebody came in and said, hey, we need to switch it because our app needs to do this, and it's not. I don't know what happened there, but it was an absolute mess. But then it seemed like they backed themselves into this gritty corner, and like they were like, oh, we can't go away from it. But yeah, so seasons 1 and 2, I was hoping that season 3 would come back and be even better than season 2, that we would continue that progression of it getting better. And I have to say, the first 2 episodes of season 3, I thought were regressed. I didn't think they were nearly as good as some of the season 2 stuff. And I will say that the last episode, episode 3 of season 3, I thought was a very good episode. It's the one where Hawk, well, I mean, we've already spoiled it, but Hawk dies. Hawk is the one that gets killed. And I thought it had some emotional weight to it. It had some good character interaction to it. I don't understand why they killed Hawk. I don't think it was a smart decision. I don't know why Red Hood Red Hood goes after and targets Hawk. Other than the just like Red Hood knows that Hawk is the one that's coming after him. But
it's like a because he can thing. It's like it does.
Yeah, I know, but it
doesn't make any sense.
They give Hawk that big, like, I'm going to take Jason down if I have to, I'll do it because I'm the one that knows how to do it. And no sooner does he get done saying that than Jason calls him specifically and targets him. Like the coincidence of Jason targeting him right after he gets done with that, him being the one to go after or to target him, just seemed a little too coincidental. Like, it was a little too much. Like, it felt like something you would write for a show, not something that would happen naturally.
Oh yeah.
But what was I getting at? But like the whole beginning of this season, the very first 5 to 10 minutes of this season is the death of Jason Todd. And it is brushed over so quickly. This is one of the most iconic storylines in all of DC Comics ever, was Jason Todd, Robin, the Batman of Batman and Robin, was killed by the Joker. And they cover that story in all of an episode. Like they show it happen with virtually no lead up to it. Jason just happens to stumble upon him, and then happens. And then he gets killed in 2 seconds, which I guess is fine because I guess we don't really need to drag that out. But he's killed when Bruce isn't even in town. So they take the idea of the death of Jason Todd, but they make it into something completely different. And then Bruce gets raked over the coals by Barbara Gordon for having a kid die, and turns around and kills the Joker and then leaves Gotham. And that all happens in one episode. And I just felt like this is an iconic storyline. At least with, the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga, Fox at least gave the X-Men 2 movies to try and do it right. Yeah. I mean, they failed, but they at least tried to do it in 2 movies.
But the second one was at least better.
It was at least better. but this show, I mean, like, they took just this classic iconic story and just, oh, here it is, real quick, we're done. Okay, now it's over. Let's move on to, whatever else next. It was just I hope one day in 20 years they release a documentary about the making of this show, because I imagine that it's people doing 5 other things and then coming in for 5 minutes a day and going, hey, we've got this Titan show. Where are we doing this week? And, one of them's like strung out on Red Bull and just goes, what if we kill somebody this time? And like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And all right, everybody break, go do your own thing, and we'll come back and do something else later.
Dude, I don't know
Like,
where they get the ideas for this show. And like just the way it's all done. Like,
it's so chaotic.
yeah, dude, I never understand why anything's happening. I actually try to think back and remember like season 1, and I just get confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
but this happened and this
Barbara-
happened, but why did this happen? Like, wait, what? And it's like that's literally like as you're watching an episode, I find myself doing that. I'm like watching a scene play out, and I'm like, how did we get here? Like, what is like,
Yeah.
what was like, what happened? Like,
And they rely on like the comic book viewing audience's knowledge of comic book stuff, but without ever really being clear about, like, Barbara Gordon has one leg. Like, she's in the chair, yes, and anybody that sees Barbara Gordon in the chair should, and you're a comic book fan, automatically thinks Killing Joke. Joker shot Barbara Gordon, paralyzed her. She was put in a chair and became Oracle. But in this series, she's in the chair, but she's also only got one leg. So something else happened there. Like, that's not just.
dude, I'm gonna let you know something right now. This show is so bad, I didn't even realize she had one leg.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I've watched it.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even a thing. Like,
Yeah.
no idea.
And I don't know if it's just the actress that they got is
maybe, yeah. I don't
that's
know.
her, and that's why they went. But like, it would be nice to have some sort. And then they just casually dropped that Alfred's dead and James Gordon is dead, but no reason why they're dead. And like, it's all over the place.
This show constantly. It's the complete opposite of show don't tell, which is what every movie and TV show should do. It should show you the story. They just tell you everything and just expect you to just be on board with it and just go with it. Like,
or they don't tell you and make you infer it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, like, well, this must be the only way this makes sense. The only reason it makes sense that Barbara's in a wheelchair and is missing a leg is that, she was in a, something other than the Killing Joke happened to her. Something else happened to this Barbara Gordon. Yeah. I don't know what, but something else.
Like, I hate to say it, but like, I don't want to discredit anybody who cosplays, but like, this show feels like some people got together who cosplay and just made a fan film half the time.
It does. That's a great.
That's what it seems like. It's just like it's like the scenes happen, and it's like the best way. It just like, here's a setup for a scene. Go.
They were given a production budget. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, I will say, like, the show it's all shot good. Like when Nightwing and Red Hood fought, there wasn't shaky cam. Like, it was a fight scene, and it was choreographed pretty good for TV standards. Like, it was fine.
And like I said, about 10% of the show I like, and stuff like that I really like.
Yeah, the suits look decent. Like another character they don't know what the fuck to do with Starfire. Like, she's got so much different stuff going on. None of it makes any fucking sense. I don't know who she's talking to. Like, she keeps calling this therapist person. Who the fuck is that? I don't remember seeing this person.
Random guy. I actually do remember him. He was a random guy that she hooked up with for like 20 minutes in season 1.
In season 1?
Yeah, in season 1 when she like.
How am I supposed to remember this?
When she first gets to Earth or whatever, or she's making her way around town. Remember, like when she first came out, she had like the big fur thing that she was wearing and stuff, and like she was working for like a pimp or something. Like I don't know, but like she ends up with that guy at a Vegas hotel at one point, and it was so random. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I was just like, I guess she started seeing a therapist at some point. There's like another, because like I just come to expect the show not giving me information, and I just have to go with whatever they're like showing and telling me. And like, I just assumed she started to see a therapist or something. Like, I had no idea what the hell's going on. Like,
another tell is Raven, who is such an integral part of seasons 1 and 2, hasn't been seen in the first 3 episodes. And all we get is one line from. I can't remember who says it now, but at one point somebody says, "Oh, Raven's on Themyscira trying to bring back Donna." Like,
I didn't even catch that.
you couldn't even show us like you couldn't cut away to a scene on Themyscira and give us some sort of context and some sort of idea about what Raven's doing. You're just going to tell us like offhandedly, oh yeah, this major character that you know was such an integral part of the show, and you know you're not going to see her for a while because she's doing this. I assume that we won't see Donna's resurrection. I'm assuming Raven will just show up with Donna at some point and be like, "Yeah, I brought her back to life. All right, what's going on next?" Like, it's just so.
And then they don't even show you like what. Like there was even a scene where Nightwing was talking to Red Hood after he finds out it's Jason Todd, and Jason Todd like tells him like he wants $50 million or whatever. And Nightwing even says, like, what do you want with the money? You don't even need it. Like, this is not about
Yeah.
money. And it's like, that's a situation where we as an audience should know what Red Hood is really doing,
Yeah,
but we
what his
don't.
motivations are.
Yeah, but we don't. So it's like the Nightwing in the show is in the situation like we are, where it's like, dude, I don't know what he's doing either. None of it makes sense. Because Red Hood wouldn't need the money. It's weird.
Well,
Like,
and the other thing that doesn't make any sense, I don't know. I honestly don't believe they're going to even try and address it or explain it away. But this all seems to take place in the course of like a couple weeks. Like Jason gets killed by the Joker. Dick gets the call that Jason has died. Dick returns back to Gotham days later, maybe even a day later, finds Bruce. Bruce says, "Oh, I took care of the funeral already. Jason's dead and buried at this point."
yeah.
And so it isn't like months have passed. This is all taking place within the matter of days, if not, you know, weeks, if not days. And we find out in the latest episode that somebody that works for Jason took his body away from the morgue, and so that implies that Jason set this all up to be killed by the Joker and then come back as Red Hood. And then so that's this big elaborate plan on Jason's part that we have no idea why he would be doing in the first place. Yet his motivation for going after the Joker and him being killed by the Joker was shown to us as if it really happened the way it was described. Like, you see the Joker standing over his body, swinging a crowbar and killing him.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that was part of Jason's plan. But yet everything else seems to be like it's just so weird.
No, yeah, and then like they showed him like using what I assumed was venom, but
Yeah.
what was it? Like they still, because that's like a looming like the Bat computer can't even determine what this substance is, and it's like of all things, like it's like is that just a red herring? Does that have anything to do with this at all? Like, because like honestly, like Jason Todd using some sort of performance enhancing drug or something, what the hell does that have to do with like why he wants to kill the Titans all of a sudden? Because that's the
Yeah.
other thing. It's like we don't know why he's just gone on this journey. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the show just starts, Robin dies instantly, and then all of a sudden he's Red Hood and wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Why?
Within a matter of days, he's back in Red Hood.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, well, why? Like you have to. And that's the thing I was telling you. It's like none of it feels earned. It all just happens. That's what like I didn't like about Hawk dying. It's like that wasn't earned. It's just like the situation gets set up and executed, and just randomly in the third episode of the show. And it's like there was no
Mhm.
like the real setup to it. The stakes aren't really there. Like they are if you just look at it in a vacuum. I get what you're saying, where like the episode at least is well done and there's emotional weight to it all and whatnot. But it's not like we've had this whole season of Red Hood and this mystery of Red Hood and like he's picking people off left and right and like things are getting tense and then now the one of the Titans is being taken by Red Hood. It's like no, all those stakes are gone because we know it's Jason and he's just fucking with people. But we don't know
Yeah.
why. So it didn't to me it was like there's no stakes here because all the tension was just gone immediately because we know it's Red. We know who it is already. They know who it is already, and he just got duped. And now there's a bomb in him. And it's like
Yeah.
okay, it just again things just kind of happen, and it's just like it really is all thriller no filler. But like the filler's important in these situations because like things just
Mhm.
fucking happen, man. Like, and I'll keep watching the show. I told you, like, I'll keep watching it because I like the Titans. And every once in a while, they're like not this iteration of the Titans. I like the Titans, like who they
Mhm.
really are. I like the actual characters. And no one in the show is necessarily bad in their roles by any means. Like, I think given the right material and the right, director and stuff, this cast could be good iterations of these characters. Maybe. But the material they're given and the way they execute everything in the show is just it's not good on a consistent basis, like, in any way.
I actually like the cast. I think
Yeah,
the
I
woman
don't
that plays
mind them.
Starfire, I think she's really good. I think Hawk and Dove, they are excellent. I think the kid that plays Gar, Logan,
He's great.
is Changeling. I think he's great. The kid that plays Superboy is a little stiff, but I
He is
think that
very
may
stiff.
be actually that may be him just playing it that way because Superboy is stiff. I mean, I think I'm taking it that that's an intentional, and the guy that plays Nightwing, he's fine. He's good. I think he's kind of right in the middle of the road there as far as the rest of the cast goes.
He's just written
Um,
so flat. That's his problem.
yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
fine. I think they all could be fine. It's just like the material they're given does not help them. Like,
No,
and
no,
it's like
not at all.
I feel bad for him more than anything because I feel like that crew of people could make a really good show.
Yeah.
Like, they could make a
And the
good cast of the Titans, but
and the
it's not.
costumes are pretty good for the most part. Yeah, the Nightwing costume. There are a couple scenes where I've seen it. And I look at it and I go, "Oh, that looks a little funny from that angle." Like I
It looks
think they
kinda
do a
bulky or
pretty.
padded, like,
Yeah, yeah. There's something a little off on it at times.
I think it's just it
But
feels too much like a suit of armor,
yeah.
like, just on the chest plate and then on the legs too, I feel like it should be a little bit more Christian Bale, The Dark Knight kinda thing, where it's, like, a little bit more mobile, like,
I also feel like they
I
need
don't know.
something in the middle to break it up. Like
Yeah, it feels like
it
literally a
sticks.
suit of armor.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
stiff
But I
looking.
mean, but all things considered, I've seen much worse costumes in shows, and so it's
Yeah.
fine. I'll take it. But that should be like the if that was the least of my problems, I would love the show. I think it's great. It's all the other stuff. It's the writing. It's
Yeah, man, look
literally
at the
the
CW
way the show
Flash
is written
suit,
and
it was
told.
never amazing, like,
Yeah,
but the show was
and
fine.
I mean, Crypto, I have one of my favorite characters, maybe my favorite. I don't know, I have a hard time picking my favorite comic book character, but definitely one of my top 5 comic book characters of all time is Crypto. And this show has a freaking live action Crypto. So
Sure.
they've got me. You know, they can continue to turn Batman into a murderer and kill the Joker, which obviously we've talked about my issues on past episodes with how I don't think Batman should kill, and I don't I hate that. I hate when writers fall back on that as
If
a
it's earned,
actual
it's
thing.
different. Like,
See,
I need a
I don't
reason.
think it can be earned.
I need a
But
reason. Like, this isn't a
but
reason. Like, it just fucking
regard
happens.
yeah, but I mean, but as long as they've got a live action Crypto who literally has super bark and flies and has heat vision, I mean, I'm done. They got me. Like I will be with this show as long as, and I'll sit there and hate myself for watching it up until Crypto shows up, and then I'll smile like a 5-year-old kid for those few seconds that he's on. But
I mean, I'm, like, so far in, I can't stop watching it. Like, I don't know.
Like I
I
said, I just hoping I kept hoping that season 2 got a little better. I kept hoping this one would get a little bit better. It's just they have a hard way. I mean, even look, I'm gonna knock stuff around. Even in like they just can't not be they they're not edgy because they're good at like there isn't real emotional edge to this show. It's all forced emotional edge. Like Barbara
mm,
Gordon in the first episode, fuck Batman, fuck Bruce Wayne. Like Barbara Gordon running around cursing left and right somehow makes her tougher or cooler or whatever. Like you can't come up with a way to show that she's a strong, tough woman. So you're just going to throw a couple F bombs and that all of a sudden will make her cooler or tougher. Like it feels like a cheap way to do it.
Yeah, they're telling you she's tough instead of
Yes.
showing that she's a tough person.
Yes.
Like, exactly. They do that with a lot of the dialogue. Like,
Yeah.
they make Nightwing do the same thing, like, all the time. Just like, "Well, I don't give a fuck," or whatever. Like, something happens
Yeah.
where it's just like, "Alright, we get it." Like, it's a bad situation.
I
Like, okay,
and
alright.
and I understand that, like, I'm gonna come off as the old man, like, get off my lawn here, or back in my day, but like, I've read comics for a long time. Comics are not comics don't lean into bad language. Like, I'll drop an F-bomb here or there in everyday conversation with my friends all day long. I have plenty of friends who curse like sailors. I'm not offended by cursing. However, I grew up reading comics, and that's not a commonplace thing. Like, if you use it, it's usually used for emphasis or to really drive home a point. The way they
Dramatic
talk on this
purpose.
show, yeah, for dramatic purpose. On this show, it's just they just throw it in there. Like, I think they're trying to use it for dramatic purpose, but they're using it every other scene for dramatic purpose. Like,
Mhm.
oh, we dropped 7 F-bombs this episode. That's how dark and gritty our show is.
They're just
Like,
earning their R
no, you're
rating,
just
yeah. Like,
yeah, no,
it's like
you're just bad writers. I mean,
yeah.
no, you can't come up with a better way to show this character his thoughts or feelings. So I don't know.
That's what
It
ultimately
is what
comes
it
down
is.
to. It's just the writing, dude. The writing's not good. Like,
Yeah.
it's not consistently good because I think we've both said, like, they're few and far between, but there is some good in there, but
There were
you
moments
have to struggle to find it. You really do.
there have been moments between Nightwing and Raven where, like, those characters get like these tiny little moments where they're allowed to break free of this dark and gritty like persona they're supposed to be in, and they have like real like character connections and moments that like they're great actors and they do a good job with the material, but then the next scene they're right back to, oh, you gotta make sure people know dark and gritty.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is. I'd like to, like you said, a documentary or a behind the scenes thing, just being a fly on the wall of like a day in
Yeah.
production of this show. Like, I'd love to spend a day in the writer's room, spend a day on set, just to see how the fuck it's done. Because how this stuff comes on the screen in the format that it does is honestly kind of baffling to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm legitimately more confused watching this show than I was watching Memento for the first time. Like, I'm more confused watching this than watching things that are explicitly designed to be a mind fuck.
Be confusing. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I'm literally this show is more confusing, and that's not a
Yeah.
good thing, like, at all, because it's not trying to be confusing, it just is. Like, it's
What
so
did
strange.
what did you think about Scarecrow?
Eh, like, I did not
Yeah.
like it, like, it's just
Like,
eh.
it's fine that they brought him in there, but I felt like all his scenes were kind of pointless.
It
Like,
could've been
I don't
anybody,
know exactly. I don't know
like
why they're bringing him in to help. And first of all, it also kind of makes Dick seem like a kind of ineffective. Yeah, this kid was supposedly trained by Batman, the world's greatest detective, and he's going to the Scarecrow for help analyzing why criminal is doing something. Like,
yeah,
it
it's
just,
strange.
yeah,
That
odd
is kind of
choice.
odd. Like, I feel like it could have been, because I mean, there's been times, like, I mean, in a Long Halloween, they consulted with Calendar Man. So, I mean, it's not
Hmm.
unprecedented, I guess, but, like, we really haven't gotten any information out of Scarecrow that Dick couldn't have came up with on his own, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, like, to that point, I totally agree. It'd
Like,
be different if
he literally misses Dick misses the fact that the note to Nightwing is written on the back of a chess
yeah,
manual.
yeah, how do you not it's like, did you turn it around? It's
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. So,
The
fuck,
Riddler
I
has
didn't
to
turn
point
it
it out to
around.
him.
Yeah, like,
Oh
oh,
shit! Oh
Jesus.
man, there's other. Wait a minute, you're saying paper has two sides?
Yeah,
What
this
the
is
fuck?
double-sided paper?
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness!
No, yeah, because like, it'd be different if something like, I don't know, like, it just there was no need for it to be Scarecrow in the end. Like, him getting help is one thing. Throwing Scarecrow in for, like, kinda no reason, also because it's not even something that Scarecrow would be good at. Like, they're not having
Yeah.
him directly analyze
Oh,
the
sure.
like,
Scarecrow's
somebody. Like, he's a psychiatrist. Like, he's not
yeah.
a profiler, like, like, they're literally looking for, like, an FBI
Well, and
profiler, so it's like, it's not really the same thing,
his
but
whole thing is fear. Like,
yeah.
like, there are other Batman villains that they could have gone with that would have maybe given
Frankly,
you I don't
Calendar
know.
Man would have been a better choice for this,
Yeah.
like, in all honesty, because like, he's just a weirdo criminal who would actually profile somebody like he did in The Long Halloween. It was the same concept. It really would have made more sense for it to be Calendar Man. Like, if you were gonna
I
use some named villain, like,
sure.
but like,
I
it could have just been the FBI and an FBI profiler. They could have cut all the scenes out and just said, "Here's the FBI profile." That's all it needed to
And
be.
then they could have given more time to actually develop the characters and let
Yeah.
us know why Jason has decided to become the Red Hood and go go rogue.
Yeah, because here's my biggest worry with the show, is that we're gonna get this big revelation, and it's just gonna be dumb. Because like,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be stupid. Like, it's like, "Oh, wow." So, like, you kept us in the dark and made the show ultimately worse by withholding this information for this? Like, that's the
Mhm.
thing? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like, it's all a simulation just to train Dick to be the best Batman ever. It was all fake, you know? Like, it's gonna be something stupid. Like,
Yeah.
that would almost be better. It was just like, okay, I'll accept it if it was all fake. That explains why it was bad. It was all a dream. Like, oh, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I think I've bitched enough for tonight.
Yeah, same. It's been honestly, dude, I felt like the whole show was just like a lot of bad things. All the news was like somewhat of like negative things. Not that we were
Yeah.
being negative. It was just, where's the, like, oh yeah, we got a new trailer for
You see
this.
this awesome new yeah,
Yeah, it's just like, "Oh,
nothing.
yeah, we got this is happening and this is happening. Here's how I think they could make this better." Like, it was all
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, it was like putting
Maybe next
Band-Aids.
week will be better.
I hope
Get
so.
that Spider-Man trailer.
The Spider-Man trailer will save everybody. Unfortunately, we won't it would be 2 weeks before
Still a
that.
couple weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah, at the earliest. We'll have to see. I definitely think we'll have that by CinemaCon, though. I do think that, but we'll see. But nevertheless, John, where can everybody find you online here?
Nightwing_K over on Twitters and Instagrams.
All right. And as always, thanks for coming on the show, John. Always a pleasure. And you can follow me simply at Sir Rob Bifo here on all social media platforms of choice. Other than right here, it's just Rob Bifo. Nevertheless, don't forget that you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us here at honestandUneducated@gmail.com. That's honestandUneducated@gmail.com. And then again, you can find if you don't always have time to watch this on YouTube, rather, you can find the podcast audio only version of the show on your podcast platform of choice to search Honest and Uneducated. And but yeah, that'll do it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and do all that sorts of fun stuff. But then until next time, take care.